What are both of yours favorite pitches that you've ever received from a random artist?
I, I used to I used to have a folder of I just called it crazy band pitches. I was just some really crazy out there artists. But
Maybe
the
we
truth,
should hear
like,
those instead.
no, I don't like to
What
share that
not
because
to do.
it sounds mean. It sounds terrible. But there's been, you get all sorts of great pitches. But I'd have to say that I mean, I'll just say the best pitch I ever got was from a group called the Harpoonist and the Axe Murder. And they sent me an email and they said, Grant, everyone tells us you're the best. So they stroked my ego. They said, please watch this link. And I did. And that, that was probably one of the best pitches I ever got, mainly because it was really short. It had one link, and the link they sent to me blew me away. And it ended up signing those. It still took about a year to start working together, but that was generally speaking the best pitch that I ever sort of received that resulted in a lifelong relationship and a very successful Canadian touring career for the Harpoonist and the Axe Murder.
Sweet.
I'm sure back in the day when we would get like, cassettes and CDs in the mail, I got something really creative, but that was so long ago that I don't really remember. But, sort of echoing what Grant said, the best pitches to me, um, have amazing music. And maybe you'll include some details on your tour history, where you've been, how you've done, et cetera, and information about the team. Um, the artists that I sign, I want to be sure that they're going to run as fast as I am. And artists that are really committed, the United States is a big chunk of land. It takes a lot of work to break in the States. So yeah, I think, that's what I would say.
Right on. What about the best emails to send pitches to? Do you guys have secret emails? Do you give it out? Do you have an assistant? What's the deal there?
No, just send me an email, grant@midnightagency.com. I literally open up every email that I get. I don't ignore an email. I'm the kind of person that, I really believe you never know where someone's going to end up in life, and you need to give everybody some space. I mean, so many people in my career and my life have given me space and time, and I'm the kind of person that wants to reciprocate that. I really believe in that, especially young artists that are looking for advice or mentorship. I'm available for that. And again, it's just because I've had so many people in my life give me the time and space when I needed it, and I just feel like I need to reciprocate that as well.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I try to listen to everything that comes in. I will say that the pandemic, as much as anything, because we weren't really going out to shows, we were just at home the whole time, was a great time to do A&R. And I signed 5 or 6 new artists between March of 2020 and now, which is a faster clip than I usually run at. And, to suggest that any one person can stay on top of all of the new music that's out there, I think is naive, arrogant, both. There is such an overwhelming amount of great new music, and we have really, since we launched, made a concerted effort to weave in our entire company into the A&R conversations, because one of us or 3 of us can't do it all on our own. We need all 15 of us to be coming to the table with ideas, and that's proven really productive. But there's a lot of new music out there.
Right. And so generally before you pitch anyone, you should know what they're representing and if it fits their roster. But because of the pandemic, have you guys been going outside of your usual type of music? And if so, what are you expanding to?
I think our roster at Arrival is very intentionally diverse. And, and that echoes down to my own personal roster. And I've always, run like that. I've got some, some artists in the jam space, in the electronic space, in the indie space, the alternative space, the world space. It's a little bit of a steeper climb for me to stay on top of all of those scenes. But I think collectively, the fact that Arrival's roster is so diverse gives us broader perspective on all the different opportunities that might be out there, which is I think benefited us all and benefited our artists. Because the fact is, certain festivals are genre specific, but more and more it feels like are blurring those lines. Look at Festival d'Été, look at Ottawa Blues Fest. Ottawa Blues Fest is certainly not a blues festival. And so, again, I think that, if you can come to the table armed with a kind of a diverse perspective, that does everyone, your artists and your company well.
Okay. So
Yeah, I would agree with you, Eric. I share a similar roster to your own. It sort of spans a lot of different genres. And the one thing that signing for me, I want it to be consistent with my roster in terms of its vibe. And I really like to get my artists to collaborate or meet one another. Not even. I think what we really do too, Eric, is we really introduce a lot of people. I think agents really introduce, and we bring all sorts of different people together, because the fact is we have a big client list. Most time when you're a manager, you might have 1 or 2, 3 artists. As agents, you could have up to 30 or 40 artists. And on top of that, if you're working within a larger organization, there's even more connections to be made. And with Midnight, I feel like there's so many collaborations between my roster already, and I'm also constantly doing more. Even just with the artists that are thriving on Twitch, they've all been collaborating and inviting each other on shows, or rating one another, or talking about one another. So that's been sort of the consistent thing as well.